So this will not be a real review, but I'm just sort of exploring the options available to me for recovering files from this small deleted partition. There is not a whole lot of data inside it. It's just to see what my options are with 3 utilities of my choosing. This is DMDE. This is one of my favorite tools, and I hope to show you why. So what we see, for example, is that although we're dealing with a deleted partition, it immediately, I don't need to do any scans or whatever, it immediately shows me this deleted partition. So, which is encouraging because now I know, okay, there seems to be something there. Another tool I often use is UFS Explorer, and I'm using the standard version. This is the drive, the 4 terabyte drive, and we immediately see it does not list our deleted partition immediately. Which is a pity, I think, because this is not something that requires rocket science to just perform a similar kind of quick scan by parsing partition tables and then discovering, hey, there's a little piece of nothing there. Let's see if there is a partition in this little piece of nothing in this unallocated area. So this is a missed chance, I think. So then it becomes slightly more complex in UFS. I have to manually find this lost partition. And this also is not very intuitive. I can say, okay, I'm going to scan for lost partitions. I don't want it to scan the entire drive, so I want to skip areas that we already have, which I think are those 3. I okay that. And so now I sort of expect it to find the lost partition kind of immediately, but we see it does not. I'll give it a little time to run. This is a slow hard drive. It's a slow external hard drive. But it could have found it by now, and it doesn't, which is annoying. So, but if I stop it, I select what I have and I get rid of that. It doesn't actually delete it, but it just flushes it from this list. And if I now redo the thing, okay. Now it does the skip thing correctly. And we do get to see our lost partition, which now gets added here. So, okay, this is what we had to do in UFS to find the lost partition. The reason I'm here is disk drill, because I have a very low opinion of it, but tools change and tools improve, so I was kind of forced to, by someone on Reddit, to review my point of view, because if we look, I assumed that disk drill needed to scan the entire hard drive. It's not true. Similar to what DMDE did, it immediately shows us the exFAT partition, which is a good thing. And now I assumed it needed to run a search for, I always click default option, search for lost data. It's going to do the entire thing then. It's going to scan it's going to look for an existing file system. It's going to scan unallocated space for more file system structures, and it's also going to do a raw file search, which takes a long time. And which is not needed because it's just a deleted partition. We don't want to find lost files. We just want to see the file system as it was before the partition was deleted. So then the most obvious option is allocate existing data, which is good. I clicked it now. And for some reason, there's always this sluggishness involved with using this drill. Allocate existing data complete, review, find items, and then indeed we find all the, I hate these little pop-ups. We see the files are there. It's a bunch of Canon raw files. If we go back to UFS, it offers a similar option. You see it's immediate, it's quicker, which in this case with just a few files doesn't make a big difference, but if we would have been dealing with a drive with 1 million files, then those differences in speed become more obvious. And okay, same thing, we can see the files and we could recover them. And then this is the cheapest option, by the way. You can this amount of files you can recover with DMD in the free edition. But if you would have more files or a more complex directory structure, you'd need to purchase a license for $20. And I believe this is 59, and I believe this is I want the Windows version. Upgrade to Pro. So this would mean okay, $100 including taxes, but that's lifetime. Oh no, that's not lifetime upgrades. So this is the more expensive option. Back to DMDE, the cheapest. In this case, we select the deleted partition and click Open Volume, and same thing. Kind of immediately, it shows us the files from the deleted partition. So all kind of similar. In my opinion, this is I think this is the most intuitive. People complain about this tool being difficult to use. I find it the most intuitive in this scenario. Immediately partition is there, I can open the volume, and then immediately I see all the files. So there's nothing extra I need to do. It's bloody obvious what I need to do. Where if we go back to disk drill, the sluggishness again, but okay, there it is. If the default was this was the default situation. So if a non-experienced user misses this option, okay, maybe a bit far-fetched, but then yeah, well, this is more intuitive. It shows me it's an unallocated space. It has been found, so it's not a present partition. It is a found partition. Yeah, and at least intuitive in this case is UFS, because you have to actually figure out, I have to manage partitions or regions. Then you have to figure out, you have to get rid of these three and then do the scan, skipping found items, and then so that's a bit annoying, and it takes fiddling and figuring out how it works. But once you have a lost partition in all three tools, then it's basically a walk in the park. You can easily get the files back. Now, if we assume that the partition was lost and somehow the file system is not intact, so we cannot just open it as if there's nothing wrong with it, but some minor corruption or whatever, then we would need to, but still we want existing files and not deleted files and raw files of stuff that has been there months ago. Then we want a option to quick scan. So now I'm going to go back to the default situation. I want to go back to drives. I'm going to do this as if I first discovered this drive again. I'm not going to remove this exFAT partition again because it just takes time, but we're going to assume the partition is there, but the Explorer or the what is it called? Allocate existing data does not yield results. So then we want to scan for, and then the most intuitive to me would be to pick quick scan. Again, the sluggishness. And then the quick scan completes but does not find anything. And then it pops up with this prompt, there's a chance to find more data. I can skip that, but then I won't get my data. But then instead it suggests to scan the entire drive. I don't know if it means this unallocated area or if it means the entire physical drive. Should we proceed? So I'm going to say yes. Yes. Again, it has to think about something. Then it goes scanning. And scanning Toshiba external USB, I'm already at this point, I'm thinking it's not scanning just my little partition. And I'm pretty sure right now, because there is not 2.68 terabyte worth of files in my tiny partition. So you can stop as far as I'm concerned, because you're not doing what I want you to do. And we can confirm it has all kinds of files that are not inside my tiny partition. So this is not the option that I wanted. I click home again, the sluggishness. So if that's not the option, I'm going to go with search for lost data. And this seems to be the option I was looking for. As I said, there's just a few raw photos in there, and this kind of matches that. Now, it's going to run a full scan, slow drive, so it's going to be 42 minutes or something. I'm assuming it includes raw files as well. but I can review and I can see, okay, everything I wanted back is already there, so I can stop the scan at this point. Okay, same scenario and same thought of same train of thought. I want a quick scan. I mean, open volume doesn't work. We're pretending it doesn't work. I want to do a quick scan to find out what kind of data we can find inside this deleted partition. If I click full scan, which I find this non-intuitive. If I click full scan, I expect it to scan this partition, but it will not do that. I have to specify that it just needs to scan the selected partition. I'm interested in file system results, and I know the file system is reasonably intact, so I'm gonna skip the raw scan. But the consequence of this is that it will not find files that are not connected to a file system, but to a degree, and I assume this is for all three tools, to a degree, the locations in which the raw files are found can be meaningful information when reconstructing a file system. It can be meaningful information, for example, to guesstimate a cluster size. But in this case, I'm telling you basically it's not very important. The file system is reasonably intact, I know this. So I'm going to disable this. I'm going to do the quick scan. Now the nice thing about DMDE over both disk drill and UFS is that it has this screen. It shows me all kind of information of stuff it is finding without having to stop the scan or view files, etc. And we just have to wait a little while. Did I yeah, I did that. Okay. I'm kind of surprised it didn't find. Oh, there we go. So this is the kind of feedback I'm talking about. It's now clear it found a exFAT file system, 105 gigabytes volume, and it found it's already finding valid files, files that fit the file system. So at this point, I can basically stop the scan, select the most promising option. Sometimes these will be. I'll let it run a little more. Maybe it will populate these other options too. I don't think so, because there's very few files inside the partition. Okay, stop. And now I can just open the volume. Now, yeah. And then the same thing, we find the raw files in here. DMDE does not have a great number of preview options. And I guess the least intuitive again is UFS start scan. Basically, I just wanted to it doesn't have to use scan unused space and all this kind of stuff. And I don't want it to do raw scan. I skipped that with the other ones too. I let this run to 5%. I forgot how far I let this run, but oh, there we are. So pretty quick. So what the selected option did, it scanned it was quicker than DMDE, I think. I didn't time it, but the option I selected basically said, look for a valid file system. Once you have it, follow up on it, because if you find the start of a file system, a file system usually points forward to other file system structures. And so if you find one file system structure, you can often reconstruct the entire file system from that. So then you don't need long scans, etc.